The Dubai Open 2025 Round 3 witnesses a strategic Zukertot opening as Sargsyan faces Mayank Chakraborty. Knight f3. On d5. On e3. Knight f6. On c4. On e6. On b3. On c5. On takes d5. On takes d5. Bishop e2. Knight c6. King castled kingside. Bishop d6. Bishop a3. King castled kingside. On d4. Threatening pawn takes c5. On takes d4 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight takes d4. Knight e4. Bishop takes d6. Queen takes d6. On f3. Threatening pawn takes e4. Knight f6 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Rook e1, it is novelty move. Rook e8. Mayank Chakraborty is preparing to play. Rook takes e3. Queen d2. Rook e8 and increase their advantage significantly. Bishop f1 played by Sargsyan. Queen c5. Threatening knight takes d4. Queen d2 played by Sargsyan. Knight takes d4. On takes d4. Queen d6. Knight c3. Bishop d7. Rook takes e8 check. Knight takes e8. Rook c1. Knight c7. Bishop d3. Knight e6. Knight e2. Queen b6. Bishop f5. Rook e8. Bishop takes e6. Queen takes e6. Knight f4. Threatening knight takes e6. Queen h6 played by Mayank Chakraborty. On g3. Queen f6. King f2. Threatening knight takes d5. Bishop c6 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Rook c3. Queen d6. On h4. On h6. On h5. Queen b4. Rook d3. Sargsyan is aiming to play. Queen takes b4. On b6. Queen d2. On f5. Rook e3. Rook takes e3. King takes e3. Bishop b7. King e2 and seize the initiative. Queen e7 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Rook e3. Queen takes e3 check. Queen takes e3. Rook takes e3. King takes e3. King f8. Knight g2. King e7. King f4. King e6. On g4. On g5 check. On takes g6. On takes g6. King g3. King f6. Knight e3. King e6. On f4. King f6. King h4. On a5. On a3. On b6. On b4. On takes b4. On takes b4. On b5. Knight d1. Bishop e8. Knight c3. On g5 check. King g3. Threatening knight takes d5 check. King e6 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight d1. King f6. Knight e3. Threatening knight takes d5 check. Bishop f7 played by Mayank Chakraborty. King f3. On h5. On takes h5. Bishop takes h5 check. King g3. On takes f4 check. King takes f4. King e6. King g5. Threatening king takes h5. Bishop f3 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight g4. Bishop d1. Knight e5. Bishop c2. Knight g6. Bishop e4. Knight f4 check. King e7. Knight h5. King e6. Knight f6. Threatening knight takes e4. Bishop d3 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight e8. King d7. Threatening king takes e8. Knight g7 played by Sargsyan. King e7. King f4. King f7. Threatening king takes g7. Knight f5 played by Sargsyan. Sargsyan is aiming to play King e5. King e8. Knight d6 check. King d8. King takes d5 and secure a stronghold in the game. King e6 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Threatening bishop takes f5. Knight e3 played by Sargsyan. Bishop e4. Knight g4. Bishop c2. Knight e5. King f6. Knight c6. Bishop d3. Knight b8. King e6. King g5. King f7. Knight a6. King e7. King g4. King d6. King f4. Bishop c2. King g5. Take a moment to spot the best move for Mayank Chakraborty. King e7 is a strong choice, since Knight c5. Bishop b1. Knight b3. Bishop d3. Knight a5. Bishop b1 position is equal. Let's proceed to the main line. King g5. Bishop d1 is an inaccurate played by Mayank Chakraborty. King f6. Bishop h5. Knight c5. Bishop e8. Knight b7 check. King c7. Threatening king takes b7. King e7 played by Sargsyan. Sargsyan might go for king takes e8. King takes b7. King d7. King b6. King d6. King b7. King takes d5 and take decisive advantage. Bishop h5 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Threatening king takes b7. Knight d6 played by Sargsyan. Sargsyan wants to play king e6. King c6. Knight f5. Bishop g4. King e5. Bishop h3. Knight e7 check. King d7. Knight takes d5 and secure a stronghold in the game. King c6 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight f7. King c7. Knight e5. Bishop e2. King e6. Threatening king takes d5. Bishop c4 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight g6. King c6. Knight e7 check. King c7. King e5. King d7. Threatening king takes e7. Knight takes d5 played by Sargsyan. Bishop f1. Knight f6 check. King e7. On d5. Bishop g2. On d6 check. King f7. Knight d5. Sargsyan is planning to play. On d7. Bishop takes d5. On promotes to queen at d8 and take decisive advantage. Bishop h3 played by Mayank Chakraborty. King d4. King e8. King c5. Threatening king takes b5. King d7 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight c3. Bishop g2. Knight takes b5. Bishop c6. Knight d4. Threatening knight takes c6. Bishop e4 played by Mayank Chakraborty. On b5. Bishop d3. On b6. Sargsyan wants to play. On b7. King e8. On promotes to queen at b8 check and establish a winning position. Bishop e4 played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight b3 time to think find the best continuation for Mayank Chakraborty. King e6 is a strong choice, since Knight a5. Bishop a8. On b7. Bishop takes b7. Knight takes b7. King d7 still Mayank Chakraborty is losing. Let's go to the main line. Knight b3. Bishop g2 is not the best move played by Mayank Chakraborty. Knight a5 stop here and find the strongest move for Mayank Chakraborty. King e6 is logical continuation as Knight c6. King f5. On d7. Bishop f1. On promotes to queen at d8. Bishop c4 still Mayank Chakraborty is losing shifting to the main variation. Knight a5. King c8 could cost the game. Played by Mayank Chakraborty. On b7 check Mayank Chakraborty saw no escape and decided to resign.